So there we go. We are now live. Good morning. Oh, it's afternoon, isn't it, Dino?
Yeah, it's afternoon.
Yeah.
How are we doing?
But I haven't had my lunch, so I still think it's morning. I am very well. Absolutely superb to see you. Before we do anything else, I'm going to play you a song.
Amazing.
So you can sit there and dance if you like. I was scared of things in the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations. All of my friends are turning green. You're the magician's assistant in your dream. When they come unstuck, stop banging.
Sorry.
Lady, going down to the riptide, going down to the dark side. I want to be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song. I got a lump in my throat because you're going to sing the words out wrong. There you go. That's the song. That's the song.
Cheers, mate.
And the drumming, man.
I couldn't help myself, and I didn't even realise I was doing it.
No, it's brilliant. So last week I had Odessa. I don't know if you saw that show. And in the little practice, I was just doing the sound, right? And she was singing along. I said, "You're going to have to mute yourself because you're going to sing." So yeah, that was cool. That was cool. So awesome. My very first question to all of my guests is, why did you choose that song, Dino?
Just because I like the song anyway, but the main reason was that from all the options that I had to choose from, that was the only one that had any kind of a water theme. And with me having a water theme on my banner and on my LinkedIn profile and cover story, I thought, why not? That seemed to be the obvious choice. So it's the one that jumped out at me, put it that way.
Brilliant, brilliant. There's quite a long list there, isn't there? So
there is, but that's definitely the only one with a water theme to it. So
okay,
yeah,
I'm going to actually look at that list with a different eye now. So you are Dino. On your profile it says Craig Dean Dino, but it is Dino.
Yeah.
You, as a LinkedIn coach, you help business to businesses make a real splash on LinkedIn using the power of social selling. And I've got to ask you loads of questions, but before we do anything, I'm just going to bring up that thing that we did a second ago. Paul's giving us a round of applause, and Odessa's there. Hi, Odessa. Hi, Paul. How are you guys? So there's a little video here that if you go to cover story, you will see what Dino gets up to. And so I'm just going to play it. I'm just going to play a few seconds of it. There he is, coming out of the water. Now, I've seen the bloopers, and I saw how many times you did that. How long did that take you to film that 30-second video?
It was 6 hours, 5 or 6 hours in the pool. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, it was like an all day thing at my mate's house down in King's Swinford in the Midlands. And there were just certain parts that I couldn't. It was the technicalities of it all. It was the water situation that was causing the problems. Things that you don't think will be a problem actually are. So as I was like jumping out of the water and going to talk, water was getting in my mouth and I was spluttering and I couldn't get my words out. So that was one issue. You see me wiping my eyes, but it wasn't actually the water in my eyes that was the problem. It was the water in my mouth that was causing the problem. Another major issue that I was having as well was something that, again, myself and Nick Rayburn, who you may or may not know, that we had an issue with was we'd not kind of factored in the fact that when you're underwater and you're trying to speak and move and everything, you do everything so much slower. Everything slows down. It's like you're in space, right? So we ended up with like 90 seconds of footage that we had to get and cut into 30 and condensed down into 30 seconds of footage. So it was a challenge to say the least.
Well, it's an absolutely memorable cover story. I've seen quite a few, and well done. I've just got a message here from Odessa. I don't know what that means. Oh, right, okay. It was that simple.
Yeah, it's because we got Odessa to do an impression on my live, and
right, okay.
I'm not even going to mention it on this one.
It's something to do with a turkey, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a gobble, gobble, gobble.
We're not even going there. This is a clean show. So yeah, I love that, what you've done there with that cover story, and inspiring people to do great cover stories. And I don't like pointing, but it is actually your fault that I'm playing the guitar.
I like the way you say your fault and not you with the inspiration for.
Well, whatever it is. But yeah, exactly. And that features in my cover story as well. So thank you very much for that, and I appreciate that. So well done. No right, I've got a load of questions. I got a load of questions for you. We're going to keep it to 15 minutes. Do you use other social media?
I do, but not anywhere near as regularly as LinkedIn. So I would dip in and out of Facebook every now and again. I'm in it for like seconds. So I like to. None of my family live around me. They from being in the forces many years ago, I've moved around a lot, and so my parents and my family all live down in Kidderminster in the Midlands, and I live up north. So it's literally a way to communicate. And I use TikTok creatively, shall we say.
I've seen your TikTok videos.
Yeah, I've only just started experimenting with TikTok, to be honest with you. But I find that there's lots of things that you can do in TikTok and then orientate them towards LinkedIn. So if I'm ever on TikTok creating stuff in TikTok, it's because I want to use it on LinkedIn. Simple as that.
No, top one. So why do you use LinkedIn, and what do you like about it?
I use LinkedIn for a number of reasons. To promote my personal brand, of course. I find that LinkedIn is a very positive place with positive people, unlike any other social media platform. You go on Facebook and you've got all sorts of negativity on there, whereas they say surround yourself with positive people. I think that's a great way of being able to do that on LinkedIn. And I also use it, of course, to drive leads and generate leads for my own business. I'd be silly if I didn't use LinkedIn for that reason, because it's an absolute hotbed for lead generation.
Absolutely. No, well, Influxo, that's your business, isn't it? You are all about
Influxio.
See, I can't even pronounce it. How rubbish am I?
It was actually going to be called Influx, and I couldn't get the .com for it because it was already taken. So the idea was influx of leads, but the .com was taken, so I added EO on the end, and jobs are good.
Brilliant, very clever. So how often do you post your own content on LinkedIn?
Every day, without question. Every day. Sometimes twice. But I'm more likely to post once a day. So I have a content calendar, and I break that down into the types of posts that I will do. So, for example, I might do a poll on a Monday. I might do a long form text post on Tuesday, a video on a Wednesday, and so on and so forth. So it's all kind of, I plan out the structure of my content, but I never know what I'm going to post until the actual day, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So I know, perfect sense.
I know it's going to be a poll, but I don't know what the question is that I'm going to ask, for example, on that day. It just kind of comes to me.
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense, and that makes life so much easier, because I saw your post the other day was about what to post on LinkedIn, and you gave away so much, man. That's so generous of you, so thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But you talk to people, and I work with a lot of accountants, and love them to death, but they're not really up for posting stuff that's personal. And with what you suggested there and some of the stuff that I do, I'm helping them break through that. So that's great to see. How much time do you spend daily on LinkedIn? Do you know?
You would probably think I spend loads of time on it, right? most people that I speak to think that I'm on it all the time, and I'm not. I'm really not. I spend probably about an hour creating content, and then I post, and then I'll spend perhaps another hour responding to comments, and then I will, once I've done what I needed to do, I then dive off and I leave it, and then I go about my normal everyday, business, and I might occasionally go back on again to start commenting on other people's content. So I'd probably say about 3 hours, maybe.
Right. Okay. That's a fair chunk of time, but obviously getting fantastic results, and congratulations, you've just gone past the 4,000 followers mark today. Happened just early today. I think it's currently set at about 4,012 or something. So
well done, pretty pleased with that.
You said something earlier about positive people. Odessa said that, and that's the thing, Odessa. It surround yourself with positive people, and cut all the people out that don't help you positive. And I guess that's referring to the turkey message. So we know how many followers you have, so that's great. What's the highest number of views you've ever had on one of your content posts? And
108,000.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was huge. It was a post about knowing your worth and not allowing someone to haggle your price down. And it went viral. And then there was another post, the one that came anywhere near close to that was about, I think it was about 20,000. Yeah, but 108,000 was the highest.
That's cracking. That's great to get that, isn't it? Well done.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Do you have a best time to post your content? I've literally just been asked this question by somebody I've been working with, and my answer is always now. Rather than waiting. But do you have a specific time?
I do, actually. Yeah, because I measure. I look at my audience, and I use Shield, and I look at when my audience is mainly online. So I know that the best time for me to post for my audience is between 9 and 10 o'clock in the morning. And if I wanted to post again, or if I missed that slot for any reason, then I might post between 4 and 5 o'clock. But that's it. I don't sort of post at any other times throughout the day normally, unless I've got something additional to post. But yeah, I think what you've got to do, what most people, now is just posting anytime. That's fine if you're really not bothered about the engagement. But if engagement is really, really important for you, then I would recommend that you look at when is your audience most active on LinkedIn, and then post at those times, because you're not posting for yourself, you're posting for your audience.
Absolutely. No, that's an absolutely great answer. And the way you said it, it's my audience. I'm posting for my audience, rather than what everybody else says.
Yeah, because this is it, isn't it? I think everybody's got their own audience, right? And my audience will be different to yours. Yours will be different to Odessa's, and so on and so forth. And so we mentioned this before we went live, before that, your vibe attracts your tribe, and so we've all got different tribes, but there's some crossover. But yeah, you've got to make sure that you're posting at the right times for your audience when they're mainly online and on LinkedIn.
No, perfect. Absolutely superb. So tell everybody, oh, hang on, I've got one more question here. Do you get business as a result of your activity on LinkedIn? I'm expecting that to be a big fat yes.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, gotcha. I get a lot of inbound inquiries and leads from the content that I post, and I do outbound. I have an outbound strategy as well. So, I use the same strategy for outbound that I teach to my clients and what I coach them on. And so when it comes to outbound, I would say that the vast majority of my leads comes from my outbound strategy, for sure. But the inbound leads are always welcome. I'm not gonna say no to those.
No, fantastic. So I've got some questions about what you actually do. So let's pitch it. What do you actually do then, Dino?
I help people make a real splash on LinkedIn using the power of social selling.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And so if people engage with you, will you teach them how to get the business that you're getting on LinkedIn?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all I do all day, every day. That's it makes up, it's what I'm here for.
Perfect. And what type of customers do you specifically work with?
So I work with business coaches, finance professionals, recruitment professionals, anybody really that's looking to generate leads from LinkedIn that is B2B. And I think you'll agree that most people on LinkedIn are B2B because it's a B2B platform. So I can help anybody really on LinkedIn. I know that sounds very broad, but business coaches in particular tend to get a lot of value from what I do.
No, brilliant. Superb. And how do you specifically help them?
So it starts with profile optimization, because I believe that your profile is the foundation for everything else that you do on LinkedIn. And I think you'll agree, Ashley, that if you were to create a piece of content or send a direct message to somebody, or a connection request for that matter, that the first thing somebody's going to do when you send a connection request is go and check out your profile before they connect. So if that profile isn't ticking the right boxes, then they're not going to accept the connection request. So very important to make sure that is boxed off first, your profile. Once your profile is ready, I believe then that profile then becomes campaign ready. It means that you can create an outreach strategy that isn't salesy, that isn't pitchy, that makes people want to have a conversation with you. I think that's the area that most people on LinkedIn struggle with, when what they tend to do is connect with people and then they don't engage with them. It's almost like they're building a museum of connections that they do nothing with, which is crazy, right? You've got all these connections, speak to them, engage with them, but engage in a conversational way. And I have a specific strategy that starts with connect, build rapport, nurture relationship, identify pain points, offer solutions, and then incentivize to jump on a Zoom call or a phone call. And that particular strategy just works. It just does. Yeah. And I think you've got so many people on LinkedIn, what they do is they build rapport and they build rapport and they build rapport. And then they built so much rapport that they then get scared about taking it to the next level for fear of ruining the rapport that they've built up, which is crazy, right? Because the way you build more rapport is to get into a face-to-face conversation, which is what we did, right? That's what happened with us. So that's essentially how I help people. I help people, to start a conversation in the first instance without being salesy or pitchy, and then move that conversation on through a number of phases that results in them booking an appointment.
No, absolutely brilliant. So if anyone wants to work with you, what's the best way of getting hold of you?
Oh, guess what? you reach out to me, just slide into my DMs on LinkedIn.
Absolutely.
That's definitely the best way. Definitely the best way, because I live and breathe. I'm not on LinkedIn all the time, but if I get a direct message, then that notifies me on my phone and I'll respond immediately.
No, absolutely fantastic. And I think that LinkedIn does sort of like trump text and emails and all that sort of malarkey nowadays, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Funny. Absolutely. And use video DMs as well. Use video DMs and use the voice notes. I'm a massive fan of that. If somebody sends me a video DM, I'm a sucker for it, and I'll definitely respond double quick time.
Right, you heard it here, folks. If you want to get hold of Dino, he'll respond to a voice message or a video message. Brilliant. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me today. I got one last question for you. What tip would you give your 16-year-old self, Dino?
Don't be too hard on myself. You just took me right back to when I was a teenager then, and I just remembered stuff that was going on in my head way back when. So yeah, don't just don't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah, it's when you're young, everything is important, and then when you get sadly to our age, or gladly to our age, I suppose, things don't matter so much, do they?
No,
it's the simple things that really matter, like phone calls. They really they really help. I can't see any questions from the floor, so we'll let it go there. We've almost done it in 15 minutes, but Dino, lovely having a chat. Thank you for coming along and being a good sport, and let's have another chat when you get to 5,000 or 6,000 or 7,000.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me. Been a pleasure.
No, it's been brilliant having you on, and I think we'll go out with your with your wherever it is. Here it is, your video.
No,